Holler if you hear me. Welcome to Wednesday night, my corner of YouTube land, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going on with this week right now of doing more pieces, of course, out of this lovely little J. Scott Campbell's More Marvelous Art, the third volume of Marvel art from J. Scott Campbell. This gorgeous wraparound cover. This was, of course, a gift off my Amazon wish list from my beloved subscriber, Relentless. And we're pretty much going to continue on with going directly from page 1 to the final page of this piece, or at least the final page of finished art, finished covers, because we do get a nice, great section of pencil sketch art here showing the different concepts for the covers we see, different concepts for character designs and things like that. We have this lovely Mary Jane Spider-Man design cover there. I've always enjoyed redheads. And speaking, they keep the beautiful redhead train going along with all these other nice sketches of Mary Jane right there, including her and her man. She's her undying love for her man, her Spider-Man. And also there she is, just, looking like an angel. And I wish that little red-haired girl would take that top off and let me see her perfect, hot, hard knockers. A little Charlie Brown humor for you. And then besides that, there's also Psylocke, a bunch of great figure sketches for the multiple times we see Psylocke or Psylocke-related covers throughout the book. All of them, they always involve either swords or her Psy knife. This one, we get both, where my index finger is, the Psy knife and a sword. We got a sword down there. We get Psy knife and sword. Let's see, back there. Let's see, all of them have the sword and the Psy knife, and of course not all of them are completely done. Some are just basic figure outlines, but you can still see the motif like up here of the sword there and the Psy knife up there. You can really creatively look through and see the process behind how Campbell comes up with his covers and his poses and all that, and it's very much a learning experience to see what a true grandmaster of at least the female form in comics, because I'd say he is one of there's a reason he still is a very bankable artist this day and age, from the 90s artists who are still bankable to this day. Like Todd McFarlane does stuff, but he's more entrepreneur. He's only now, like this year, has he really gotten back and more recently into seriously drawing Spawn again, drawing comics again. I know his big push for the year of Spawn being this year, including J. Scott Campbell doing cover work on one of the Spawn comics. So that's going to be great to see, but he hadn't really been consistently working after he started going to entrepreneurial ventures. Here's one. And speaking of wish list stuff, we've got Nick saying, I sent you a bunch of stuff, half from your wish list and the other half stuff I picked out. They'll be there between Saturday and May 13th, according to my subscriber Nick right here in the chat. Well, thank you, Nick. I'll definitely be keeping my eyes out for what's going to be showing up. It's very, very keeping my eyes open. And anything you fans out there, anything you viewers out there sent me, whether it's stuff off my wish list, whether it's just things you send me from by your own suggestions, or if it's buying any of my work, donating to my store, all that, it is all of the utmost appreciation from me. It's what keeps me going creatively, also as well as knowing that I actually have an audience that is engaging and responding in that way, in some way, in any way, whether it's of course there's the basic things of leaving a comment or subscribing on all that, but then there's that which is you are parting with your own hard-earned money in some way to contribute to me, whether it be donations, which I get donations are the first thing you see in my online store if you would like to help out me and my channel, but don't want to buy any artwork or commission me for any artwork. So we got the donations category, which Nick has already generously done this month, besides the things now he's just announced from off my wish list will be sending me, as well as Relentless doing her, she made a nice generous donation as her way of preemptively buying a sketchbook I am doing that is currently in progress. All my Friday videos where I do the little watercolor sketchbook pens that are very much me trying to, in the vein, deeply inspired by the J. Scott Campbell ladies, like definitely this beautiful one of Spider-Gwen, a character whose concept to me I think is really stupid, but really comes alive and becomes interesting when you get just the cover work, which, of course, Campbell in the female form no wonder he has a lovely wife and multiple daughters who seem to, love and respect their daddy, because it's like he seems to be he's a literal on at his drawing board and in his life. J. Scott Campbell, the chick magnet. Yes. Well, yeah, look that up, everybody. Relentless Snake, all my other viewers out there, look up J. Scott Campbell on Instagram, and you'll see art posts like you see printed covers of comics he's doing artwork for that is already out there on the shelves. Things like him showing the blueprints for these vinyl statues of like Disney princesses he's been hired to do by Disney, and then there'll be things like personal stuff like showing him with his daughters or him with his wife, and no wonder he looks like the happiest son of a bitch alive, because he draws ladies that look like this, and he's surrounded by ladies that looks like this when he gets away from the board to go out and live his life. So that's look up that expression, the life of Riley. That's what he ought to call his biography. If he has another biography out, I have his biography right here on the shelf, where it's really like the first 10 years of his career, but a real full biography, he ought to call it The Life of Riley, because that's what he's living. He draws ladies that look like Psylocke or Medusa or Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane, and he's got ladies that look like they could cosplay as them every day he's going. Like this pencil sketch here is one from a Avengers cover that is actually in a J. Scott Campbell Complete Covers Volume 1 that Marvel published. That was a paperback. Yeah, there's the pencil stage of that. And you can tell, even when he's just sketching out a concept, it still has all that exacting composition. He knows exactly what is going in. There's nothing loose. You could probably no wonder you could take these pencil sketches and make a little back section of just showing the sketching stage of the stuff. Like these two ladies here, we've got Rogue and Dazzler. No, that's Black Widow. We got Rogue and Black Widow in her 80s gray tights, and you see they took that composition and he extrapolated upon that to make this one of the earliest pages, which is Rogue up there, Dazzler down there, and 80s Black Widow with her fiery hair and those gray tights and the slight muscle tone in her stomach and legs. And there's the little let's get physical lady there with Dazzler looking all kinds of naughty. She wants to be spanked so badly. But then on the other case, you've got the Inhumans, and in that stage, you see everything that you were going to get that you look towards when you go in to the actual Inhumans cover that he drew. And yes, that brief push for about a couple years where it was like the Marvel Comics equivalent of WWE trying to force Roman Reigns down our throats as the new champion, where they tried to force the Inhumans as being the new big team all over the Marvel Universe out of spite to the X-Men, and fans weren't buying it, so they gave it up. They tried to do the movie, and they wound up reorganizing the movie as a pilot for an ABC show that nobody watched and got canceled after a year. What does that say where Batwoman got a second season, but not the Inhumans? Ouch. Ike Perlmutter, who's been in charge of Marvel since him and his buddy bought it from bankruptcy in the mid-90s, had to be so fucking pissed. Here's the guy who supposedly fired somebody and had security confiscate all Marvel-related products in his cubicle, seizing them as company property. Yeah, look that up. There's specifically a book called Marvel Comics: The Untold Story, and there's later chapters where they describe the reaction to Ike Perlmutter and Avi Arad buying up Marvel in the wake of its bankruptcy in Christmas 1996 is when they declared bankruptcy. And yes, of course, the centerpiece being the Black Bolt. And the Black Bolt, fun fact, his outfit was what partially inspired Gene Simmons' get-up for Kiss. At least those little wings, the wings between his triceps and his lats. Like I've got the little figure right here to demonstrate. I'll demonstrate right here. Yeah, when the Black Bolt has his arms out between his triceps here and his lats here, those little fold-out sort of wingspans like Spider-Man had in his early years. In the original Steve Ditko rendering of Spider-Man, he had the webbing from their triceps to, I'd say, yeah, lats. I don't know my muscle groups all off the top of my head, so I know what the tricep is, but I might be getting the lats. I might be incorrect in calling this the lats, but though, yeah, that's webbing that Spider-Man had. The Black Bolt has always had that. Well, Spider-Man had it initially, and then it was gone for a long time until Todd McFarlane started drawing it, and he added those details back in, and now they've been removed again. But always with the Black Bolt. Unfortunately, yes, it's cool that he has such a powerful voice that simply him whispering can trigger supersonic detonations, but having a leader of a team who can't talk, now you wind up writing yourselves in all kinds of creative corners and headaches that the whoever is writing the Inhumans has to deal with, having them being led by somebody who does not talk because it could literally trigger a sonic boom. And then you have a teleporting bulldog with a little tuning fork on his head, like his master, the Black Bolt, up there. And yes, that is a bulldog with the power to teleport. I don't know how that works either, but that was one of the more stranger creations of Jack Kirby, and that real run, the real hot run that when the Fantastic Four really became the Fantastic Four, the iconic Fantastic Four with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, was that time that I think it was like that full calendar year of issues where they created the Inhumans, and then they did the Galactus trilogy, which brought in, of course, Galactus and the Silver Surfer, and then they did the This Man, This Monster issue, and then they introduced the Black Panther and all that stuff, all one immediately after the other, all breakneck benchmark stuff. Really, the Fantastic Four being the progenitor of the Marvel Universe as a whole. And the way that they would try to have other newer creations be validated was by having those new creations interact with the Fantastic Four in some way. Like, of course, issue 1 of Spider-Man being him trying to join the Fantastic Four, or the epic rivalry between between Thing and the Hulk being started by an FF issue where they track down the Hulk and the Thing fight. And then another one of the only one that really failed was the X-Men in the 60s were a a concept that went bust, and they had them in a Fantastic Four issue. All of them really that have been bringing up were in the first 30 issues of the FF, and that Volume 1 Jack Kirby, a Stan Lee FF omnibus that Nick sent me last year that I read through the whole thing. It's yes. And since I don't know much about the Inhumans, I'm getting Inhumans frequently asked questions from Nick right here saying, is the bulldog, his name is Lockjaw. So I wonder how many like Marvel fans, comic book people have had bulldogs and named them Lockjaw since then, since the 60s. Apparently, yeah, the Inhumans show was not very good, according to Nick, although The War of Kings is a great book about the Inhumans. All right, guessing that's some storyline in the comics I don't know about. And according also to Nick, the redhead up here with the hair that's the size of Spawn's cape and the size of the Rock's ego is Medusa in the purple tights with the hair all the way out there. According to Nick, Medusa's the one that does all the talking for the Black Bolt right here. Which, okay, I'll take your word for it, since I don't know about the Inhumans besides what they are in the context of the FF. Let's see what else. Like there's that sketch of a Rogue. I know that can be Rogue with her hood and her present day green and white outfit. Look at that little. Considering how you could take a crap, shape the crap into the face of Deadpool's mask and sell it for $100. This little sketch right here of Deadpool could probably be done as like a rough sketch cover. And it would be, like if it was done, if you just photocopy this onto one of those blank comic book covers of Deadpool, that'd be like $300 because it's a J. Scott Campbell piece. Or you could actually, like a variant cover for an issue of Deadpool and do that pencil sketch. And that would be one of those where, okay, for every 1,000 copies you buy of Deadpool, that retailer, your store, like the comic shop Liberty Comics or that's on Gratiot Avenue or Vault of Midnight in downtown Detroit, would, okay, now for every 1,000 of those, you get one copy of the J. Scott Campbell sketch cover of Deadpool like this. Yeah. Right now, Relentless is laying in bed, so we all should get very, very naughty because it's bedtime for her, but it's her kind of bedtime. So, and but now I think we're all would be excited about the lovely Nubian queen known as Storm in her little Savage Land skimpy outfit right there. Because look at that sketch, that beautiful, clear, spectral sketch. Another example of the rough laying out concepts, sketches that J. Scott Campbell does are beautiful enough to be sold either in books like this or as rough like pencil sketches. He could do a photo. He could sell prints of this like Neil Adams sells prints of his pencil sketches and sell them for like $30 or $40 at conventions. Campbell at cons or on his online store could do the same thing with this, or have it as a variant cover. That would also be one of those. All right, for every 1,000 copies of the latest issue of Black Panther, you'll get that variant cover where Mrs. Black Panther Storm is going to be showing up. And we got the Savage Land 3 locked in covers that he did. And we'll show it right here. Yes, these 3 Savage Land X-Men covers that were locked together with the lovely lady of the Savage Land there, Mrs. Kazar, very much looking like Bo Derek and Tarzan, the Ape Man from the 80s. The only Bo Derek film from the 80s to be a box office success and some positive critical reaction. And Roger Ebert himself actually appreciated that the film mostly focuses on the jungle and Tarzan and Jane's relationship, or maybe that's just because he liked it, since that meant getting to see more of Tarzan and Jane. And Jane is very, very, very naked and getting felt up by, the Mr. Tarzan. And then we get that lovely Rogue in her lovely Savage Land getup, of course, that we saw in Uncanny X-Men 267 for the first time there during that little run when Jim Lee was drawing X-Men, and the beautiful, beautiful Storm, Mistress of the Winds. Well, she's the mistress of the winds and the mistress of my vanilla loins. She's the mistress of my white chocolate. Yes. Just remember, Miss Monroe, that ebony and ivory. Yes. Brown sugar. Oh, yes. She doesn't. Oh, hey, she likes it. Trust me, bub. She doesn't get offended when I call her my brown sugar. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that is my man. He enjoys to swirl with the intensity of my power. Vanilla and chocolate colliding together with the thunder and lightning. Okay, baby, don't always have to sound like you're Gandalf. Can we just fuck now? Okay, I just get a little carried away. I get excited. I've honestly never enjoyed the fire of the ivory gentleman before. This is all new to me. It's all new to me too, baby. I know what you mean. Yes, but when you are in the heat of passion, you do not trigger hurricanes with your mind. Well, yeah, there is that. Hence why I insist on you tying me to the bed. Oh, okay, all right, baby. And smacking my legs to the bamboo. Okay, that's taking it too far. I thought that only works for girls in wheelchairs. It works with me too. Oh, yes, hit me. Oh, yes, hit them. Oh, I'm feeling the tingle. I want to see my legs bleed. Oh, oh, you felt a tingle? You felt a tingle? Look, I came back from the Savage Land storm, and I brought you back jewels. They're jewels, Storm. They're jewels. But I do not care about jewels. I just want to suck your cock. Even if you are merely a human, I would still just want to stay home and suck your cock. When a man loves a woman. Just say uncle if I'm getting a little carried away with my little ebony princess over here, Storm. Well, let's focus on Thor and Lady Thor over there. The superlative cover art of J. Scott Campbell making the whole female Thor crap palatable in cover form, at least. Then up there, we also, surrounding our ebony princess, we get these nice pencil sketches of the Miss Kazar right there, and you can tell the difference in, okay, all right, we've got her posing 3/4 left hip facing us, so that means should her left leg be out, or should the left leg be standing there and she has the right leg up, or should we have the one straight and the other curving outward that way, or this one? And then compare those 3 concepts to what eventually was drawn, which is he goes with the right leg up. Yes, very nice. And Parrot Head is saying, I'm suddenly reminded of Spaceballs. What is that? Is it the Rick Moranis and his little dolls, and he's getting the princess to pleasure him because his helmet is so big? But remember, it's Rick Moranis. I assume that his helmet is very, very big, because what woman would let their man get away with accidentally shrinking the kids and throwing them out in the trash unless he was dynamite in bed? She didn't immediately go Phil Hartman on him, which must mean that okay, it's worth it because of the he may be tiny, but trust me, there's the he must have turned the shrink ray on himself because the body is completely out of proportion with what he's got in his pants. And now that Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement more recently and appearing in commercials and podcasts, there's that documentary that's on Indiegogo being funded right now called In Search of Tomorrow about all the big science fiction films of the 80s included in their trailer. They have Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So I wonder if they're going to have him sit down and interview for that. Or, now people in the chat are talking about Spaceballs, and Nick loved Pizza the Hut. Where's that? And now someone else is in the mood for a kitty hubby three-way. Kitty hubby? What's that? That must be some newfound slang I've never heard of. And here we also get another great sketch. Here we see the one across of the ladies of the X-Men. If I can find where they are, they're a little later in the comic right here. Yes, of Mystique and Psylocke and Storm and Magic. But then we get Sabretooth and Logan. And yes, between the finished piece to his little layout sketch, it's very, very tightly rendered, but notice that you also see a Sentinel head back there, and between the sketch concept and the final piece, he decided to remove the Sentinel and stick with Sabretooth and Old Man Logan flanking them. And then, actually, this is another one. I think because this is a full figure of Deadpool, this would be the one that you would do as a sketch cover. That would, be the variant kind that would sell for 1,000 copies. You buy, you get one of that, or a $300 cover sketch, or a $40 print on his store, something like that. Then there's the sketch where it's all the characters, all the X-Force characters, original X-Force silhouetted in half of Deadpool's body, since Deadpool initially was an antagonist to the New Mutants, and then stuck around when they were reinvented as X-Force. And then they get the Black Cat, the most underrated of the comic book femme fatales. I just want to fucking spank her. And a cat burglar in a black leather bodysuit. She loves to just get. She loves it. I don't have my leather paddle with me, so I'm just gonna have to use my bare hands. Most women that are into discipline like that prefer. You find some that prefer open-handed, raw hand, but most of them, they like some kind of implement. Usually a paddle, or maybe if it's like a family thing, then it's a belt, just like Daddy used to do. And there's the cover that we see there with sort of James Bond. I'm reminded of like a James Bond opening credits, and not that No Time to Die crap, the real James Bond, where it's the opening, the ladies in silhouette, the artsy compositions and things, and like you would have that where it would be like a figure falling through the silhouette of a body, and you've got the beautiful Black Cat falling through with Spider-Man falling through her. Yes. Yes. And now people are talking about surf and turf, which that's refers to lobster and steak, but I think there's also some kind of term for someone who goes both ways between the sheets. That counts as surf and turf. But let's just get. Unfortunately, it's only a pencil sketch, so she'll never yell her safe word. So I can just spank her as long as I want if I felt like it. But we got more things to do. More things to look through in the pencil stuff, including this beautiful. There's Mary Jane, who, even though for whatever reason Campbell didn't finish drawing a nose, she is gorgeous. And as according to Nick, another reminder about how Saturday there'll be a bunch of stuff there showing up, being sent to me, but there'll be still more on the way over the next 2 weeks, and it won't auto remove from your wish list. Okay, well. And according to Parrot Head, he happens to agree because we've got the Spider Lady Ninja, Mortal Kombat Ninja up there, and we've got the Black Cat down there. According to Parrot Head, pink tacos are the best tacos. And someone else says that they are very lickable, which, yes, that's why I don't know if he was saying this as a joke, but after when my dad said that when he would go on dates, he would take women out to like the Haagen-Dazs or whatever after the date, and he would get an ice cream cone with them, and he would see whether he would take them home for a little naughty dalliance, whether or not their licking technique on the ice cream cone gave him the impression that they would be, sort of like Dante's girlfriend in Clerks, if they knew how to, slurp the schlong. My expression, not his. Was that? And there's a yeah, that's what I think. I made the joke last night about how Rule 34, if it exists, there's porn of it. There's actually a relatively current porno parody of Clerks, which I did not. I know it's out there. I found out about it, but I didn't watch it, and now I'm wondering, what does that include? Like, after the argument over Dante's girlfriend sucking 37 dicks, she immediately goes up to Jane's side of Bob after leaving the store, and oh hey, I remember you. Yeah, we went to school together. Okay, now drop it, and then. Oh, fuck yeah, Lunchbox, check it out, man. Oh, fuck yeah, see that? Yeah. Oh, fucking Snoogans, motherfucking mad nooch. You know what? Makes me the motherfucking bomb? What made me the motherfucking Mac Daddy of Jersey? Look, I just got bitches walking up to me, Lunchbox. They just suck it on my schlong like, I'm gonna suck that pothead's dick off. Oh, baby, fuck, don't forget, man. I'm gonna give you term, bitch. Then you're gonna go over to my hetero life man over here and you're gonna blow that fat bitch. You like that, salad, Bob? You want my sloppy seconds? Yeah, I bet you do, fucking fatty. Yeah, so fucking fat. You know how I'll stay in shape? I walk behind your fat ass and I play the tuba. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 snoogin, snoochie boochie noochies. And yes, I seriously do believe that what finally got Jason Mewes off of drugs for good is that he just walks behind Kevin Smith while playing the tuba. Stop it. I got a podcast to do. I want to play Jay again. Oh, that's not the ice cream. Oh, that's Riot Kitty talking about the little Riot Kitty's asking, you have ice cream? Okay, give me some. And now, oh, that's not the ice cream I want. Yeah, that's then again, I also the other things like that's not the strangest thing that a father has said to their son. If you remember Dr. Evil talking about his father, that he'd make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Sometimes he'd accuse chestnuts of being lazy. And the inside cover, we see here the title page, the more marvelous art, this beautiful Gwenpool piece. Yes, J. Scott Campbell, an artist so electrifying he makes Gwenpool cool. This is what we're recreating tonight, so we better get on that because I don't want my work to be looking sloppy. I know there's some people out there who like sloppy seconds or like a sloppy finish, but that ain't me. Tons of fun. Something else. You can always tell that fucking Amy story. Why don't you ever be like, hey, Jay, I disagree. Oh, man, these are some good cheese fries. Just fucking say it already. The sign on the back of the car said Critters of Hollywood. You dumb fuck. Say it, don't spray it. Yeah, Jay and Justice sitting in a tree. Fucking. Hey, lady, ever been fucked by a fat man in an overcoat? What the fuck, Serpico? Hey, what are these for? Hey, I got a wiping problem. I use those little baby wipes to wipe my ass. Go in there, bomb. No stains on my undies. You want proof? All right, take them off. Come on, Lunchbox. Pull my ass cheeks apart and let them see those stank nuggets. Then Nick's bringing back up the tuba scene on Family Guy. Hey, I have a glandular problem. No, you have a greed problem. Yeah, Ricky Gervais just said that about fat people. It's glandular. No, it's greed. Oh, it's just big bones. No, big bones covered in meat and gravy. And look at me. I'm a fat little English butterball, I'm still making fun of you. So then, what was it? Bill Maher talking about fat shaming, and that led to Mr. Sand in his vagina for all eternity. James Corden to cry about it on his show. Like, no, we don't all want to be fat. Not all of us have a sense of superiority that burns 4,000 calories a day. Okay, that was a good line. I appreciate anybody who openly insults Bill Maher, but you're still a fat pussy. And going back to Ricky Gervais, yes, one of the more underrated lines from his Golden Globe speech of, oh, Cats is nominated for some of these awards, but, oh, what a surprise, James Corden is a fat pussy. Or this, I have a glad that's the Tommy boy, fat guy in a little coat. It wouldn't be fun if it was a guy with a glandular problem in a little coat. No, a body positive man in a little coat. That wouldn't work. That's a glandular problem in a little coat. Glandular problem in a little coat. See, doesn't work. Richard, what's happening? Yes, unless you're a millionaire head of a tire company out of Ohio, fat guys like that aren't going to be coming home with Bo Derek. Just look at her choices and husband, pretty boy actor of his day, John Derek, and then the DJ from Northern Exposure who was also on Sex in the City. Knowing his age range, that means he probably would have been like a teenager or something in like the 80s or like early 80s. So he lived out many a teenage boy's dream in the early 80s of marrying Bo Derek. So hats off to you, John Corbett. You're an inspiration. And unlike with Jennifer Connelly, she didn't, hit the wrong side of 40 and turn into an anorexic who looks like Jared Leto in drag. Yeah, Paul Bettany was like a teenager or something, or when he got the hots for Jennifer Connelly when he saw her in Labyrinth. They wound up getting married, but that's after she started smoking away her curves. And yeah, looks like either Jared Leto or Daniel Day-Lewis in drag, depending on the angle. She's got to have been royally pissed from getting a role, the love interest role in a damn Tom Cruise movie, but not just any Tom Cruise movie, the sequel to Top Gun. And they pushed the release back by a year, but then the lockdown started happening. So now it's definitely pushed back to now maybe sometime later this year, I think even further. So she's like, yeah, this is going to reinvigorate my career. And then fuck, now I'm stuck with cable TV. I'm stuck with Snowpiercer on cable TV. God damn it. I'm going to go and smoke some more. Yeah, there's I think I made that joke before, not in public, but never to on a stream or anything about, knows the difference between a cougar in LA and a cougar in New York is their diet. Like a sexy, an older woman, like a professional or sexy, whatever, older woman in LA, they've got a diet of wheatgrass, kale, and Pilates. And a cougar in New York has a diet of alcohol, tobacco, and bulimia. That's the difference. And search your feelings. You know it to be true. If you agree with what I gotta say out there, then give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. If you say so, then just remember that out there, you know it's true. Because I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And Mad TV can bite me. I don't know if you saw this, but I found some little clip of Jordan Peterson doing a lecture where he brings up out of the blue to answer a question the documentary about Bret Hart called Wrestling with Shadows. And he's explaining to the students, if you might not know, but yeah, he was this professional wrestler and at one point may have been the most famous man in all of Canada. And he was the son of his father. Stu Hart was a major wrestler I watched as a child on TV over here in Canada. And they're showing this whole documentary is all about why anybody would want to go and be a professional wrestler. And here his father is a man who was a violent sport, like violent profession like wrestling. And here he is in 82, his joints are shot, he's hunched over with some kind of spina bifida, he's stuttering his words, and they put him in the basement. He's teaching wrestling holds to these teenagers, and they're screaming in agony, and he's doing this kind of hold in a way where he's putting the pressure on a man's arm behind his back, and it's causing the veins in the temples of his head to start bulging. And this cocky teenager is screaming, "I can't feel my legs," and he's tapping, begging to stop. It was where's the Cougars? What was here's a suggestion from Parrot Head. Aren't Cougars in Hollywood on the Coke diet? Well, yeah, there's also that. There's you could say four things. There's the kale, the wheatgrass, the Pilates, and the cocaine. Except that there's one thing that's on the New York and the LA Cougar diets: cocaine. They're united in their love of cocaine. Except the California ones don't smoke. That'd be like you get like a Natalie Portman type. They go out to some like California, some big Hollywood function. They're smoking away, and then suddenly, then the California ones are high out of their skull on cocaine, and they're like, oh, they're jittering off. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, okay, I gotta do another line. Hey, there's no smoking in here. Put the damn cigarette out. Okay. There's that. According to I got a viewer out here, Mildred, who's been out in California for a long time, and she says, "Old nudes, dudes." That's from 1988. Nowadays, the cocaine is gone. Cocaine was super 80s. Remember, L.A., New York, they're all about the latest trend, and it's that joke on South Park about when Cartman gets AIDS and he tries to do a big AIDS function with celebrities, and the lady there says, "Well, how come nobody showed up?" Well, AIDS is more the 80s, 90s disease. It's all about cancer now. And yeah, cocaine was all the more like 80s, late 70s kind of thing for, like California, New York people. It's most definitely that case. That's why, what I say about the California cougar diet and the New York cougar diet. I'll say it again. You have wheatgrass, you have kale, and you have Pilates. And in New York, it's it's cocktails, tobacco, and bulimia. But I just got that. And considering that crap that Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing in Captain America about trying to make Jordan Peterson out to be the Red Skull, and the massive backfiring that led to on social media, now I've got the mental image of and that, along with hearing Peterson talking about the Bret Hart, now I've got the mental image of him as the Stone Cold Jordan Peterson, the Ontario Lobster. Or the bit where Bret Hart was on Mad TV, except it's Ta-Nehisi Coates getting the chair to the back instead of Bull Sasso. I got a word out there for all you stupid, brain-dead, postmodern neo-Marxists. This guy, he tried to humiliate me. He tried to pick me up and throw me around like I was the Red Skull. You want to do satire of my lectures, Coates? You want to think you're funny? You think you're insightful, Coates? Well, here goes. He puts him the sharpshooter. Oh, I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Modern academia can bite me. Walks out. Or the glass shattering sound effect. Stone Cold! I can't believe it. The Ontario Lobster is bringing the roof down at Madison Square Garden. If you want to see the feminists get very angry, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah! If you want me to see the modern feminists get very angry, say hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my God, he's giving Anita Sarkeesian a beer bath. Oh, never before in the history of Madison Square Garden has Anita Sarkeesian been given a beer bath before. She's gotten a bunch of cum baths behind the scenes, but not a beer bath before. Nick's asking, who's Jordan Peterson? Jordan Peterson is a psychologist and a professor of clinical psychology, mostly in Canada. He was also worked in Harvard for a while in the 90s. He started posting lectures on YouTube and became very popular with the crowds of doing things like his book called 12 Rules for Life. 12 Rules for Life, which is things like clean your room, or rules like when don't bother kids when they're skateboarding, or never let your children do things that would make you dislike them. And of course, because he is, speaking positively towards trying, for men to be men and to, be disciplined and actually have lives, and not speaking of, men as just inherently evil. Of course, that means that he's some kind of disgusting, demonstrable evil piece of crap that must be destroyed when it comes to the lunatic woke crowd. It's like hence why that, actual nutball Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote the Red Skull now as a Jordan Peterson parody in a recent issue of Captain America, which just led to it being Coates getting horrendously mocked for it. And somebody actually went and designed a parody of the Hydra logo to look like a lobster because of I think the first chapter in Peterson's 12 Rules for Life book. He talks about the behavioral patterns and the biological sort of functions and instincts of the lobster. And over the years, with his popularity on YouTube and with his books and all that, that's led to now like the lobster becoming like his logo. Like he actually will wear a lobster encrusted necktie when he's doing public appearances, and he now I think like sells them online. And now there's actually shirts and other merchandise with the Hydra logo parody of a lobster. That all the proceeds are going to charity that some graphic designer did to support Peterson and throw the mockery right back in Coates' face. Hence why I think of Peter between that and him talking about the Bret Hart documentary in one of his lectures from years ago. Now the Stone Cold Jordan Peterson, or the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And right, he wears the lobster ties. Another thing he should now wear is he should get his own copy of the Bret Hart wraparound sunglasses. Or do some kind of he's got millions of views and subscribers on YouTube. What he ought to do now is a parody of that WWF commercial that was ripping off the Joe Green Super Bowl commercial where the little kid screams at Bret Hart and he just like walks up to the kid and hands him his sunglasses and walks away to his entrance theme. The little kid, go get him, champ. That one. Instead, it would be like some modern, confused, shapeless, hump of clay, modern, like millennial man who then sees Peterson, and he sees Peterson's guidance, basic fundamental guidance. That one guy, your boy Zach, summed it up in a really succinct way where he talks about, I see why Peterson's popular and why he would have popularity, but he's like a motivational speaker for guys who didn't grow up with a dad. But I had a father, so like the things that he's lecturing about and talking about to people are just things I do because I had a father who taught me all this shit. But I mean, considering the divorce rates and the way the modern woman, is especially the modern single woman treats their sons, of course they need someone like this. They need pretty much a clinical psychologist double moonlighting as a men's self-help guru to give them the kind of things that a father's supposed to. It was what was the joke people who say about it shouldn't be up to TV, it shouldn't be up to athletes to be the role models. Well, considering how much increasingly shitty modern parenting has dropped the ball, now it's the old days of Charles Barkley and rightfully keeping with the rhetoric of I'm not a role model. Just because I'm famous doesn't mean I should raise your kids. Well, the modern parent now expects everyone else to raise their kids for them. And hence why those lost souls, those neglected boys, those neglected young men look at a guy like Peterson telling them things in lectures or in his books that would be things that a devoted father would be there to say. He's picked up the ball and ran with it very, very successfully. Yeah, boy Zach, he's that one comic book YouTuber. His channel is called Comics Matter with your boy Zach. It used to be called Diversity in Comics. He's most of what he does, the comics he's been doing on Indiegogo are things like they're called Jawbreakers, and the other one is called Iron Sights. He served in the military and multiple branches of the military, as well as the National Guard. Hence why most of the comic book stuff he does, and he does the YouTube channel to build up the attention, a crowdfund for that stuff successfully, are like variations on G.I. Joe. Like he'll openly talk about his life and his, what kind of comics he's always liked. And really, he even said that it was G.I. Joe that's what inspired him to, wind up growing up into enlisting in the military. Hence his favorite writer being Larry Hama, who is the Chris Claremont of the G.I. Joe comics in the 80s. And he's got a new campaign called Rock and Roll Ninja on Indiegogo that he's doing, which he explains in a recent video that, oh yeah, the Rock and Roll Ninja, it's a thing that the idea came to me when I was explaining to people who Larry Hama was, when I'm telling them about why I love the old 80s G.I. Joe Marvel comics so much, and Larry Hama being like the one writer on all of them, and explained I called him a rock and roll ninja because Larry Hama's a martial artist. He also served in Vietnam. He also was in a rock band, as well as an artist and a writer, who wound up mostly working in comics as a writer, and his big claim to fame being the definitive writer of G.I. Joe in comic book form. And also a little insight tool that professional artists have been using since the 80s is from this famous artist of the 50s and 60s called Wally Wood. he drew up this little personal chart for himself and for his assistants called Wallywood's 22 Panels That Always Work. Well, one of his assistants was a young Larry Hama who, circa 1980-81, took a photocopy of the 22 panels and started making more copies and started handing them out to other artists and editors at Marvel, and it's now become this like massive tool for professionals in the industry of the Wallywood's 22 Panels That Always Work, which is publicly available thanks to the Larry Hama. The boy Zach calls him the rock and roll ninja. I call him the Chris Claremont of G.I. Joe. And now we've got Riot Kitty saying, "I'm gonna go to bed. Good night, everybody." Well, then a delayed good night to Riot Kitty. What's that? Well, if you like also Nick says here about I've come around on Red Letter Media. I like their half in the bag videos. Sorry. Well, I still all right. I still think they're pissed off little film school nerds who all the talk about how above it all and cool they are, but then again, whenever they see a guy who looks like somebody who may have gotten laid in high school succeed in Hollywood, then they go on their pissy contest brigade, which, yeah, that's why they can bite me. Let's get around here. What else? Oh, now I've been using everything with the number 3 here, forgetting about the other ones. This is just the one I prefer to use to do contour lines. Now let's go down to other stuff. And now also Sleep Well, My Kitty, says one of them, since Riot Kitty's now consistently shown up. She's consistently now my 4th feline is very much somebody that is fitting to my crowds like a duck to water. Since we've got Relentless here, who hasn't really said much in the chat for a long time, that probably might just be because, remember, she is watching in bed, and either she fell asleep or maybe it's just that all the talk about Storm doesn't want any jewels, she just wants to suck my cock is probably may have got her in the mood. Remember, Relentless is the proud owner of the Madonna sex book, so and in the middle of a stream last night, she was the one who actually said she was going to be right back and go and get the book and then come back down. And I still watch her channel, and I'm not so sure if that's one that she's been I'm not sure if that's one that YouTube would feel too kindly to her watching. I don't think YouTube would be too kindly to seeing her post about it on her channel. I'm not sure. She might be doing the horizontal mambo. Remember, she's in bed. It's either the horizontal mambo, or since she is one of my fabulous felines, she might be just petting the kitty. That's I remember some comedian saying that about the similes, the metaphors, whatever word you want to say for women masturbating is so much more adorable. And that's okay. Petting her kitty. Yeah, go ahead, baby. Pet your kitty. Pet it. Come on, pet it gently. Don't be too rough, or the kitty might scratch you. The men one, the male versions. Oh god, that's so gross. It's so scary, so angry. Even no wonder mothers are so upset when they see their sons playing with themselves. What are you doing? Stop beating your mate. You're gonna be just like your father. So, it's like your father when he comes home and smacks me around in a drunken rage. What, Mom? Shut up, bitch, and make me a coffee. Oh, I knew this would happen. Well, that was one in Harold and Kumar where one of them hallucinates about the giant bag of weed being his wife. He has sex with and marries a giant bag of marijuana, and then he's doing his taxes, and the weed shows up to hand him a cup of coffee. He throws it on the ground, slaps her, and screams, "Bitch, you don't fucking order my coffee, you fucking whore!" And then she starts to cry, and he's hugging her, screaming, "Shh, it's okay, baby. I love you. I love you." But which one you make works better? Stone Cold Jordan Peterson or Jordan the Hitman Peterson? You postmodern neo-Marxists, you go there and you thump your talking points like you're reciting John 3:16. Well, Jordan 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." And all I've proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt that your rhetoric does not stand up to even the slightest bit of logical inquiry. So go, leave this lecture hall, buy yourself a cheap bottle of Thunderbird, and maybe you'll find a little bit of even less self-respect that you have going here on the stage against me. Because it's about logic, it's about self-discipline, it's about courage, it's about wisdom. Can you tell me what all this is about? Or just have a Peterson be like Terrence and Phillip from South Park and they just fart on everybody. Ah! Which expression do you think better fits Anita Sarkeesian? Come dungeon or come dumpster? Yes, Harold and Kumar is hilarious, although I haven't seen that in a while, but still very strong memories of it. So it's not like it's like Dumb and Dumber or Spinal Tap. It's one of those comedies where you only have to really see it once for it to be as memorable for anybody who's ever seen it. But then again, it's one of those that you can keep rewatching and rewatching, and you'll still enjoy it. Like, or Austin Powers would be another one that I would bring up. That's like that. Got a little pouch. Remember, she is inspired by. She's supposed to be a female version, a female ripoff of a Rob Liefeld character, so we at least have to have one pouch. There we go. Aha. Bam. And according to Nick, he brings up Neil Patrick Harris because of Harold and Kumar, and he was in that. And supposedly Harris is supposed to be in the new Matrix movie. That's I know it sounds weird, but now the way the Wachowskis have like turned into almost a self parody over the years, I'm not really excited to see the Matrix. And I'm also not really surprised by such a bizarre casting choice. Remember, in The Matrix 2, they give speaking roles to Cornel West, and college professor Cornel West, as well as former boxing champion Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr., who also appears in the Enter the Matrix video game. I remember that big like definitive Matrix DVD box set. They included as a special feature all the cutscenes that the Wachowskis directed for the Enter the Matrix game, and one of them was a fight with the Roy Jones Jr. character. I don't know how many of you out there remember have ever heard of Troy Jones Jr., but yeah, if him and Cornel West are in Matrix movies, then Neil Patrick Harris, okay. I'm not really surprised. They won't. Now considering how good he is at musical theater and all that. Now I got the mental image of Neil Patrick Harris doing a musical number, but he's doing it in that Matrix, bullet time wire fu style. I think that'd be good. There's the. How can you do a dance number out of that bullet time twisting and turning and dodging the bullets and bending backwards like Keanu did in the Matrix film? And in other news, we also got some convention news. I received a email, since I'm on their mailing list, of Astronomicon has now just announced that tickets are available for Astronomicon 4 coming up in early February of next year. But vendors and artist alley tables are not available yet. And I got a separate email saying that yes, when vendors are available, vending tables are available for the artist alley, they will notify me on that. So what should be my first convention appearance of next year, I've got my fingers crossed. I'll be ready with my eyes open to say all that. And if it does go through, then you'll definitely be seeing some videos for my channel being posted of me at Astronomicon, and I might even now already have the idea of trying to do a live stream from the convention floor. I think that would definitely be something interesting and something I've never done. It was me. I really kind of fell out of video games around like the time of the PlayStation 2, when the PlayStation and the N64 replaced with the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. That's when I really like fell out of it, and I haven't owned a console since then, which is a little strange because I didn't own any console after the PlayStation 2, but I religiously watched the G4 channel, that video game channel that was on in like around the mid 2000s. That's I just liked watching TV programming about gaming, but not actually playing any myself. Very odd paradox, I would say, but not the strangest thing that somebody has done. And on top of that, I also was watching it because remember that was where Olivia Munn got her start, and she was more than willing to, lick random pieces of machinery as well as dance around in a tub of cream in a Chun Li costume, and that little thing where she uh, stuck her head up and bit into a hot dog covered in mustard with her heaving breasts sticking out and all those throat muscles clenching around that sausage and biting sensuously into it for all of us out there to enjoy. And remember, I was 13 at the time, so you certainly know why I was so insistent on watching that lady sensuously bite into that little hot dog, biting into it slowly and taking that chomp. Oh, hell yeah. And then later on, they replaced her with a Playmate of the Year on that show, where they had attend this thing called the World Naked Bike Ride up around the summer up in Washington. It also happens in London. Yeah, there's the hence why it's called the World Naked Bike Ride. Uh, okay, now we're up here. Oh, my dear lordy. Oh, yeah, yeah, I am Lord. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am Lord. I am Lord. Feeling good on a Sunday. Splunking. Yeah. Now let's see. Uh, Here we go. And down there. And down there. And a little seam down there. She's got a very tight body. I can tell that by her tight tights. She is tight like a hungry little tigress. She is Gwenpool. And at least when J. Scott Campbell is drawing her, she is certainly growling with her need to enjoy her appetites for the flesh. It can't be, to her mind, to her soul, to her loins, it can't be sinful if it feels so sweet. And okay, we've got ourselves a finished piece right here. That's all for tonight. I want to thank everybody for watching, and new viewers out there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And besides all of that, you can help out the channel with shopping in my online art store. Follow the first link in the description below to my store right there. Pen and ink illustrations like this are only $25 a piece plus shipping and handling. Besides all of that, there's also my sketchbooks that are available for sale there at $25 a piece plus shipping and handling. Don't forget, I also have color drawings for sale. They are $20 a piece plus shipping and handling. Commissions are $50 a piece plus shipping and handling. And besides all of that, you can also donate to my store if you wanted to help me out in a way that would support my work, but you don't want to purchase or commission anything. I also have Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me there. And don't forget, I also have an Amazon wish list for which there'll be Nick, who has so generously donated many, many things that will be coming in on Saturday and in the next couple of weeks from my online art store. So I'm eternally grateful for that. For anyone else who contributes to the channel, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, I will be live again. And what I will be drawing, it'll be coming out of J. Scott Campbell's more marvelous art. But what I'll be doing, you'll just have to come by and see. So let's get another little bit on here finished, put in place, since we've got a little bit of extra time. And that is this little nose up here. And I sincerely thank you all. And as always, good night. And see you, Space Cowboy.